Hey, pretty little butterfly sting, Miss Florida Red. You still up, Miss Florida Red, for a second? Just for a second, huh? So we gonna talk about something that's been on my mind for a second, and that's kitchen nightmares. What some of the mistakes you've made in the doggone kitchen? 'Cause I got a couple stories to tell y'all. Cause y'all know, hey Miss Steve Mac, hello Miss Edmonds. Cause okay. Hello Miss Stone. So y'all know I'm a little touched with certain things, so you shouldn't do certain things to me when you're in the kitchen. First of all, I don't like nobody in the kitchen with me to begin with. But every time you come in the kitchen, somebody else want to come in the kitchen. They got to get something out the kitchen. Anyway, so this one day, my ex-husband decided that he wanted to boil water to put in this pitcher, this glass pitcher. So I told the nut, you cannot put hot water in the glass pitcher because the glass may shatter. Oh, he wanted to do it anyway because he grown. So he boiled the water. I left out. I didn't want to see it. Next thing I know, I hear screaming. Him and my brother in there, that food done burnt his whole doggone foot up because the whole bottom of the glass jar fell out in a perfect circle and all the hot water spilled out on his foot. So he had to go to emergency because he had burns on his doggone feet. So we gonna fast forward. I laughed because I told your butt don't pour the water in there. So I didn't have any sympathy for him. So I guess he couldn't wait to get his lick back. So I was in the kitchen cooking one day and I was pulling something out the oven and I didn't pull it out with my oven mitt. I put it out with the towel. Didn't have the towel wrapped around my hand good enough to as I was pulling the rack out, I burnt my hand. I started screaming. This fool laughed. He couldn't wait to get his lick back, so he laughed. Honey, when I tell you, you ain't gonna laugh at me and still eat. So I flipped everything in the trash. Now ain't nobody gonna eat, joke on you, laugh all day. You ain't gonna laugh at me after I burn myself cooking for you, fool. Good night, Glam. Hey, Maisha. Miss For the rest, I guess we need to put an APB out on KIM. She probably under the covers deep. She said she completely under the covers. Go to bed after you done put us out. Child. So moving in my first place, I was used to cooking on gas stoves. That's how I was taught to cook on gas stoves. But in a lot of apartments, well, when I first moved in my apartments, it was electric. And so I didn't know that cooking on electric was totally different than cooking on gas stoves. So for the first maybe 3 or 4 meals, I burned everything. Cause I didn't know how to doggone get the proper temperature on that doggone electric stove. I either burned something on top of the stove or I burned something in the doggone oven. So for the first 3 or 4 meals, baby, they were goners because I could not get the doggone electric stove good. Hello, in his service, God is. So, baby, I done had some kitchen disasters, honey. And my first Thanksgiving at my house. Now, I've been cooking since I was about 13 to 14, that's when I was in the kitchen. I'm the oldest child, the oldest grandchild. So I've been in the kitchen for a long time. I always wanted to help, always wanted to do everything, but I had never cleaned a turkey. I've seen I seasoned the turkey. Forget you, Kim. I seasoned the turkey, but I never cleaned a turkey before. So my first Thanksgiving in my apartment, I'm about to do it up. We got the honey baked ham, made the macaroni and cheese, the greens with the smoked turkey, everything. And it's time to doggone brine this doggone turkey. I got everything made up and washed the greens, shredded the cheese. I'm like, I'm on a roll. All we gotta do is brown this turkey, season it, and put it in the oven tomorrow. So I'm sitting up here, I'm seasoning it. I got doggone oranges and apples in it and all kind of stuff that I done seen on the Food Network. I done put it in a bag, seasoned it. And so as I'm talking to my mom on the phone, she was like, you gonna have to take that trash out because you know how you are with smells. And I was like, take the trash out. I don't have anything in the trash that smells. She was like, you got that meat in there. And I'm like, I don't have any meat in my trash. She said, what about the parts that came out of the turkey? And I'm like, what parts that came out of the turkey? She was like the neck and the giblets. So I'm like, I ain't getting no damn neck or no giblets out of no turkey. So I'm like, what is she talking about? So I take the turkey out the damn oven, take it out the bag, put it in the sink, and y'all, it was a bag in the damn turkey, and the turkey necks and everything was still in the turkey. When I tell y'all I got so nauseous, and second of all, why didn't I feel that when I was stuffing it full of BS? Child, I called my mom and I was like, can we still eat it? Is it still good? She was like, did it start cooking? I'm like, no, I just literally put it in there. And she was like, well, clean it out and you're gonna have to, clean it and then use it. I couldn't do it. I just not I couldn't eat that doggone turkey. So the little store that was open only had like breast of a turkey. So that's what we had on that Thanksgiving. We just had the doggone breast because that's all that grocery store provided because I was not about to eat that turkey after I left a dang on bag with the turkey necks and the giblets and everything still in there. That grossed me the heck out. Okay. In his service guide, it says I suffer recently second degree, 8 burns, stir fry, still healthy, left hand. Oh wow. So what happened when you were stir frying? Was the handle of the wok hot? How did you burn your hands stir frying? Yes, Kim, I left them in, honey. Just goofy. Miss Florida said, I am afraid of gas stoves. Give me electric all day with the high, medium, and low settings all day. See, I was raised on gas. So gas doesn't bother me at all. It was that doggone electric stove. It's like that heat is 10 times more powerful than a gas stove. I burnt everything, honey. You on the floor, you laughing at me, leaving the turkey next in. Auntie D Max said, all I can say, too many sips and cooking don't go together overseas. And baby, let's not talk about overseas. When I'm sitting up here on the doggone phone and making my favorite meal, which is pork chops smothered in. Well, I love the gravy, but I don't always smother my pork chop because I love a good fried pork chop. But pork chop with rice and gravy. Honey, I'm sitting up here. Now it's time to season the gravy for the last time. It's almost done. All I gotta do is re-season it and boom, we ready to eat. I'm on the doggone phone, pick up the pepper, start pouring the pepper in there, honey, and the whole middle part was open and a big mound of pepper just fell in the doggone gravy. When I tell you my feelings was hurt, cause ain't no fish and pepper out of nothing. Child, my feelings was so hurt. Um, what you thinking you gotta go up in it for it. Yeah, you got to dig. I didn't know that, honey. If I wouldn't have never called my mama, I'd have cooked that doggone bag in there. It would have melted to the doggone turkey. Baby, we would have been sick that night. We would have been in somebody's hospital. Salmonella, E. coli, tuberculosis, hands, foot, and mouth, honey. We would have had it all. I'd have left that bag up in there. In his services, I threw mine away cooking funnies. Yeah, I'm one of those ones. You play with me in the kitchen. Oh, baby, nobody won't eat. I will flip this table right on over, flip everything in the trash. Who you laughing at? Oh, you laughing I got burnt? Guess who ain't eating tonight? Because he couldn't cook. So laugh on. Veggies were cut too big. Mmm. Kim says, Glam says, I boiled corn dogs one time. My daddy was so mad. Last meal in the house had to go to my grandma's to eat. Hey, Miss Connie, how, how you boil corn dogs? You didn't know that? I don't eat hot dogs, y'all, because I'm the type that if you show me something gross about food or tell me something gross about food, I won't eat it anymore. Like you can't say cat or dog or pig or farm while I'm eating meat because it takes me to the place of the animal. If you talk, I'm eating pork chop and you talk about a pig, I don't want to picture a pig while I'm eating my pork chop. Like, don't do that. So all it takes is one time for you to tell me a story and I won't, or me to see something, I won't eat it. So when I was younger, I was obsessed with the Food Network. And to the point I would carry the remote control in my pocket because I didn't want anybody to turn the channel. And they had this episode where they went to the Oscar Mayer plant, I think it was, and they were showing how hot dogs was made. Baby, when I tell you after that doggone broadcast, I had tears coming down my eyes and puke welling up in my throat when I seen that mush and stuff. Honey, I ain't picked up a hot dog ever since. You cannot pay me to eat it. In his service says dropped. Okay, I read that. Says splattered, missed my face. Ooh, oh my God. Miss D Max said, Kim, she's on the my knees. I guess she on her knees. In his service says, my husband scrambled eggs in grease. We all got sick. Oh my goodness. Kim says, my daddy only cooked his eggs in grease. Wow. Not butter, honey. He said, give him all the fat. Miss D Man said, KIM, how you do that? Still laughing. In his service says, that's why they're cooking funnies. Lamb says, I was like 10. They were frozen and I have never had them. My mama said it was like eating a hot dog when I asked about them that day. Shit, you bought hot dogs. So I understand. Miss Florida Red said, baby, I don't eat big pieces of nobody chicken. No, ma'am. No, Miss Florida Red, I don't eat any big pieces of meat. Don't give me no big piece of steak, no big piece of chicken. they be like, oh, you know how some people, I want the biggest breast, I want the biggest wing. No, give me the smallest one because, baby, where did that breast come from? Where did that wing come from looking like that? No, don't give me no big steak and make me think of cows. No, I'm not that person. Don't do it. It will make me physically ill. And I don't like when people pile all that dang on food up on their plate. Like all you can eat buffets and stuff. I don't like all that food touching it. Why you need 10 different dishes on one doggone plate? Child, that stuff looks so doggone gross. Mm-mm. Y'all know how I am with phobias and things like that. And y'all know, like I said, I ain't wrapped too tight when it comes to certain things. Glam said steroids all up in that all up in his throat. You hear me? So we went to this restaurant here. It was a soul food restaurant. And we had went the day before because I had hit at the casino. So we went that day and the food was great. So we went back the next day and I took my brother and my cousins. It was me and my ex-husband. So I'm first of all, I'm lactose. I should never have ordered a milkshake anywhere, but I'm always ordering a darn milkshake because I love milkshakes. But anyway, I start off with my milkshake and I get pork chops, smothered pork chops, rice and gravy, and some corn. So I got the same thing that I had the previous day. That was awesome. So they bring it out and they had the rice like piled up in the middle, all fancy in the middle of the plate, like they took a one of those ramekins and put it in there, like in a mold. They had it on there, had the gravy all on there. So I go to dig into, season it and mix it up. And as I eat the first bite is good, hot, it's good. But when I get into the middle of the rice was ice cold, like it had been in the refrigerator. And the first thing that came to my head was they gave me old rice. Y'all know I ain't wrapped too tight. Even though I know everything came out that refrigerator. I'm thinking, oh shit, is they refrigerated clean? Did they store it right? Is this old rice? How long it's been sitting in the refrigerator? My mind started going 100 miles per hour. Baby, when I tell you my mind took control over me, and next thing you know, I was puking on them people floor at the restaurant at the table. I couldn't even get up because it started coming out of my mouth. And I had milkshake and I was trying to hold it in. So milkshake started shooting out my doggone nose, honey. It was a disaster. And you got my cousin and my brother and them trying to like shield me so nobody can see why my ex-husband trying to clean it up. It was a doggone circus because my mind just took over everything, baby. You couldn't tell me that was yesterday or 2 day old, or God knows how old that rice was. You just served me. And why did you serve me some rice out the refrigerator? And how is this part hot and that part cold? What did you do? So no, at that pinnacle point, it was time for the check and it was time to go because I don't want nothing else in here and I can't stand when they mess up something and I send it away and I say, take it, I don't want it. And they ask me, do I want something else? I don't want shit out of here. Nothing. You can't serve me nothing ever again. Do you understand? You just gave me a plate of half hot food and half cold food. Where somebody got to explain to me where did this cold portion come from and why it's on my plate? Child, no, I would rather doggone eat at home. I really don't do restaurants. I try to cook at home as much as I can. Miss For the Rest said, I don't eat ribs from Chinese restaurants. The ribs are small and bone soft. No man, warning, cat alert. Listen. Hello, Ocean. Everybody, welcome in, Ocean. Listen. My ex-husband used to always order ribs from the Chinese food restaurant. I would ask him, why in the world would you order ribs from the Chinese restaurant? We ain't got no beef, Ocean. We never had any beef. What you did something to be behind my back? You always came in peace over here. So what? Let me know if I got a video out here with some googly eyes and my mouth not moving. Right. Let me know. So I can block you. I'm just playing with you. But yeah, I don't know why people would doggone get ribs from a Chinese restaurant. But it was this Chinese restaurant that's in this plaza. If you familiar with with Michigan, it's on the corner of 12 Mile and Telegraph, and it's in this plaza. So as I'm walking through the back way of the alley, going to the gas station, because if you know that area, it's always packed and there's nowhere to park, cars everywhere, whatever. So I'm walking through the back way. I see the man from the Chinese food restaurant at the dumpster, standing in the dumpster with his little short self on a crate. So y'all know me, honey. I stopped. So I want to know why you bent over in the trash can with your doggone apron on. So he comes out with a pail, and I'm like, what do you have in there? I scared the mess out of him. He looked at me, he put the pail back in the trash can. But I knew he was gonna go back in there for the pail because he didn't like fling the pail in there. He set the pail back in there perfectly. Hold on, let me see. Oh, she say, no, no, no. I just say that from time to time. Okay, baby. Hey, Ashanti. Everybody, welcome in, Ashanti. But yeah, so he set it back in there perfectly. So I knew he was going back in there to get that pail once I walked away. I never saw what he actually got out of the trash can and put in that pail. But just the fact that he was digging in the dumpster with his apron on and went back into the shop, and I know he was going back into that doggone trash when I walked away. It just I don't eat Chinese food. I stopped a long time ago once I watched this show. I don't remember what country they were in. So I'm not gonna blame it on the Chinese, but I don't remember what country they were in, but it was Asia, or it could have been the Philippines. I don't remember. But I was watching this show, and they had this man that was a dog catcher. That was his job. His job was to go out and catch dogs every day and bring them back to this restaurant. And also rats. So he will cage rats throughout the city, and then he will walk around the city looking for stray dogs. So he would bring all the stray dogs back, and they will literally take the fur off the dog, clean it, and grill it. And so they did the same thing with the rats. And when you clean and skinned the rat, it was so surprising how the rat meat looked just like chicken. It looks like a white meat chicken breast, a small chicken breast. It was so disgusting to me, but let me not say disgusting because I don't want to discriminate against anybody's culture. I don't want to be rude either. But to me, it was just like, wow, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I don't do any Chinese food or anything like that. Mm-mm. In his service says, I got that tonight. Cold rice, refried beans. I thought the same. Wow. How they gonna get somebody cold rice? Where you get that from? Why you Auntie D Man said, don't eat out much. People are very nasty, especially C19. Home cooking, yes. I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. Miss Florida Red said that's like getting steak from a hamburger joint or fried chicken from a seafood restaurant. She says, I would eat shrimp fried rice from a Chinese restaurant. That's it. That's all. I saw that. Did you miss you saw that documentary, Miss Florida Red? I'm glad somebody else saw it besides me because I was flabbergasted. Like I couldn't believe it. You know, you hear rumors about it and you just be like, okay, yeah, that's just a rumor, but you be sad eyed thinking it might be true. I actually saw it with my own eyes. So yeah, that didn't sit well with me at all. Somebody says something about oh, so we went to this sub place. It was me, my mom, and my sister. And the girl was working the register and she was the one fixing the subs. So y'all know me with my germaphobe self. I'm watching her like a hawk from when she goes to the register and when she goes to the substation to see if she's washing her hands after touching money and or is she just going over there and making subs. So she when she got done making his sub, she had on gloves. But she got done making his sub. She went over to the cash register. She punched in, all the buttons, whatever, handled his money with the gloves on. And then she went back over there to the substation and started fixing our order. I said, excuse me, can you wash your hands? She said, I have on gloves. I said, but you just touch money, the register, his hand, all of that with the gloves. And I say, you know what? After thinking about it, I just want a refund because you probably been doing that all day. So everything back here is contaminated because you're touching dirty money, you're touching people's hands, and then you're going back there and making stuff that people have to put in their mouth. You know where money people put money? Child, she gave me my money back. I went and sat in the car and waited on my mother and my sister to come out because y'all know me. I'm quick to y'all do you know what. So before I messed up them people's flow, I got on up out of there because that was just so doggone gross to me. Miss Connie said, I also saw that years ago and stopped eating Chinese food for a long time. Yeah, that was Miss Fortered said, yes, I also saw one about tilapia fish. Land haven't eaten in years. Yes. I saw the one about tilapia. That's why I don't eat tilapia. I'm not gonna lie and say I've never eaten tilapia, but one day as I was eating tilapia, I just thought like, where did this fish come from? Like I in all my years, I've never heard of tilapia. You growing up here in a perch and bass and things like that, salmon, but I never heard of tilapia. So as I'm eating it, and I noticed that almost every piece was identical, like in size and in shape. So I don't remember what they said exactly about tilapia, but when I Googled it and saw what they said about it, I no longer ate tilapia. Like that was it for me. So you can't pay me to eat tilapia either. That ain't my thing. I'm about to look it up actually. Let's see what it says it is cuz I forgot what they said about it. All right. Let me see. Miss D Max said had a friend's mom passed from eating ribs at a Chinese restaurant, and autopsy revealed infected cat. Even saw maggots, as stated on the report. This woman was healthy. Oh my goodness! So she ate a rib. Wait, let me go back up. Had a friend's mom passed from eating ribs at a Chinese restaurant, and autopsy revealed infected cat. Ooh, ooh, child. So it says, for fish, tilapia has an interesting history. It is believed that the fish were first farmed in Egypt in the Nile region. Farming of tilapia dates back 1,000 years ago. Um, Let me go down. Although it's not a popular food in Europe though. Let's see. Let's see. You said with holler refund in a minute. I tried to like I try to bear with a lot of people when it comes to restaurants. Like especially if it's like little moms and pop shops. I try to be very patient with them, but certain stuff I can't tolerate, like half of my plate being cold and half of it being hot. No. Uh, I don't want to hold y'all up with trying to figure it out what tilapia is, honey. And his service says, wash your hands and say your prayers because Jesus and germs are everywhere. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people don't wash their doggone hands when they're handling food. I see that quite often in restaurants when people just wear the same gloves. It used to be, well, it still is a deli out in the suburbs, and they used to buy bagels from this bagel shop that was next door because some of the customers wanted their sandwiches made on bagels. So they would go next door and get the bagels, but they would go next door with their gloves on. They will open the door, take the money, go over there, get the bagel, and wrapped in a sheet of tissue paper, bagel all in the air. They bring it back over next door and go over there and make them people sandwiches with the same doggone gloves they done touch the all these doors with and money. And it's surprising to me that nobody has ever said anything to them about it. I used to go to the Sprint store right there, and it was also a bakery that used to be right there next to it, and I saw this for years, and I nobody ever stopped them and said you can't make my sandwich because you just use the same gloves. Like them people literally let him walk from door to door with money in his hand, having their food out in the air, breathed on by I don't know how many people that they passed through the places, and then go back there behind the counter and make your sandwich with that same glove. Everything is doggone contaminated at that point. Everything filthy. Throw everything away. Even the person. Ms. Z-Man said, basically, the way they raise tilapia is gross. Stopped eating it when I saw the show. Yes. Miss Flores said, did you guys know broccoli is cultivated by a man and not a natural veggie? This is why it stink after a day. I no longer eat it. I know. I didn't know that. And it does have a very good night, Sting, baby. Thanks for stopping in. It has a very, very pungent smell once it's been sitting. Ooh, child, it will clear the house out if you make a mistake and leave broccoli out or leave something out. I remember one time my brother left some Chinese food in the microwave, and the next day it was hot. The next day, the whole kitchen was smelling. So we like, what is that smell? And we couldn't find it. And so somebody opened the microwave to heat something up, and that's when they saw the container and the smell came rushing out of the microwave. Well, when my brother opened the top of the container of the whatever he had in there, it looked like it was bubbling. It's oh my God, it looked so gross. It looked like it was bubbling. I don't know how to explain it other than it looked like it was bubbling. It was so darn gross. I've never seen anything like that before. So yeah, you got to be careful with these fast food places and what we putting in our doggone mouth. Um, we went to when I don't know, it's TGI Fridays. I mean, not TGI Fridays. What was it? Ruby Tuesdays? Is that still open? Is that still around? Because I haven't seen one here. But I it takes some getting used to going out to eat with me if you don't know me, because I am really particular about things. So I want my food in a to go box. I want to eat with plasticware. I want my cup in a styrofoam cup. I don't want to eat off the dishes. I just don't. Um so this one time we were at TGI Fridays, they didn't do it. They didn't put my stuff in the to go thing. So this time I'm gonna be a big girl and not make a big deal about it. I'm just gonna take the plate and eat my food. Most places I go to, I get the same thing everywhere I go. Most of the time, I'm not one to be adventurous with food. I like what I like and I stick to what I like. So I got the like potato skins, cheese sticks, and the chicken fingers. So as I go to pick up a potato skin, it was a huge crusted orange spot on my plate, but nothing on my plate is orange. So y'all know, here it come welling up in my throat. I can't even talk because I'm trying to hold it in like what is this orange stuff crusted up on my plate? Y'all put my food on a dirty plate. So as I lifted up all the potato skins with a fork, it was like some dry sauce on the plate that was dry up, so you could tell that the plate wasn't washed properly. So after I finally got myself together and called the waiter over and told him, their favorite line, do you want something else? Child, don't even start with me. No, sir. No. I went and sat in the car because most men will eat anything. They don't care what's wrong with your plate. Okay, you can they could have dropped your food on the floor and picked it up and gave it to you, and that guy gonna still eat most of the time. So my brother and my ex-husband sat there like I didn't just have a dirty plate, and they sat there and they started eating their food. So I left they butt, went and sat in the car. We get across the street to the gas station because they talking to me about what happened. By the time we get to across the street to the gas station, y'all know I lost my noodles, honey. I can't take nothing like that. It makes me physically ill. And the thought of me almost putting something in my mouth off a plate that wasn't washed and probably had somebody else saliva on it and all of that, baby, I couldn't take it. I was weak, honey. Ms. D-Max said hand sanitizer all over my apartment. When you come into my house, you have to wash your hands because my immune system is low. So I when I get sick for a long period of time. So like a common cold lasts a person a few days. Sometimes I'll have a cold for like a month. So I don't play the whole germs thing. So when you come in my house, you gotta wash your hands. People know before you go in my refrigerator when you wake up, you gotta wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your hands before you go in my refrigerator. I'm not one of those people that's really strict when you come to my house, but certain things like washing your hands before you touch stuff in my kitchen, I'm really, really strict on. Because, child, you just can't be walking around touching stuff people gonna put in their mouth. In this service says 2 ounce make 1 gallon. I use a sponge mop. Says I don't trust Boston Market. What's up with Boston Market? I've never eaten at Boston Market. Hey, just Nikki, baby. I never eaten at Thank you so much, Nikki. I never eaten at Boston Market, but I know people that have. Y'all ever like so? Y'all ever think of when you think of a certain restaurant, you think of certain people? Like when I think of Boston Market, I think of older people. Like that's most of the time I see older people in there every time I would pass it, but I've never been in there. But I know people who have bought complete meals from Boston Market for the holiday. I don't know. It doesn't look pleasing to me, but please tell me why you don't trust Boston Market. Um, Miss Maisha want to know why in his service. Miss D Max said exactly plastic all the way. Yes. Miss D Max said shoes off at the door. Yes. You got to take your shoes off at my front door. I like to walk barefoot a lot. I don't like shoes, I don't like socks, I don't like my feet being hot. So you can't wear shoes in my house because child, God forbid my feet get dirty by your shoe. And then you just think about all of the stuff that's on the bottom of people's shoe. People spit outside, dogs do their business outside, and then you walk around the house with it, and then somebody walks barefoot, then you climb in your bed. I can't do it. So shoes off at the front door. You need socks. I got those for you too. You want little flip flops? I got those, but you got to take your shoes off. The doggone maintenance guy came to fix my sink one time, and it was snowing outside and snowing and raining, so it's like that mushy type of snow. And his boots were covered with the slush. So he come knocking on my door. He said, I'm coming to fix your sink. I'm like, where are you going with those boots? And he like, in here to fix your sink. I said, you not coming in here with those boots. First of all, I just mopped my floors. And second of all, you think you about to track all that slush and stuff. You ain't even have enough sense to clean your feet off at the front mat. So you think you about to bring all that slush and track it through my house and leave it for me to clean up? You not bringing them big ass boots in here. So I got him a paper bag for him to put his boots on in the hallway, and then you can come in and he fixed the sink in his socks because you not come you I wish you would, child. No, 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 no. And his service says not here in Chicago. Miss D Mac, me too. I shampoo my rugs, take off your shoes. And his service says Maisha, here they rotate in chicken warm. Oh, and the chicken tastes funny. So they probably rotate give you the oldest chicken. Is that what you saying? Like they bring out the oldest chicken? I went to the gas station. Y'all know sometime the gas station be having some bomb food, but I went in there and they had the Hunt's pizza. This one I was in South Carolina. They had the Hunt's pizza in there, and they had made it I don't know how long ago, but it was so dry out sitting up there. And I'm like, do y'all have anything fresh coming out? They said no. So I'm like, you just gonna have this old pizza out here and expect somebody to eat it? And sure enough, one girl came and got one slice, and another girl came and got. I'm like, y'all really don't care that that stuff been sitting up there since God knows when. It looks so dry out and gross, but as long as we accept it, the longer they'll serve it to us, honey. You don't care, they don't care. And then service says taste old. Days old Chicago watch takeout, eat at home. They screw us in urban city. I eat at home. I cook at 67. I know that's right. I eat out. I get sick. Yes, sometimes you do. Yes. I will eat Sam's Club chicken, always hot and fresh cooked. I love Sam's Club's rotisserie chicken. Um, I don't really like dark meat. I won't say I won't eat it, but I'm more of a white meat type of girl. So I'll buy the rotisserie chicken and I'll cut the breast up and make some sides with it. And then I would freeze the wing and the thigh. And in case I don't have any smoked turkey, for my greens, I throw the wing and the thigh in my greens. And the rotisserie taste, it just give the greens a good taste, and the chicken still be juicy. If you freeze that chicken from Sam's Club, I promise you, if you take it out and put it back in the oven, it's still going to be just as juicy if you wrap it right. And then service says, I have lactose and low immune like Mika. I trust my cook. Yeah, when you cook yourself, you know what's in it. As for the rest, said, hey chat, please show Mika some love by hitting the like button. I'm sure she will appreciate it. Yes, I will. Thank you. Yeah, it's best to cook at home. You know what you putting in your food. You know what you like. You know what you don't like. You know that you can clean your meat. Like when I was in school, we were in this health class, and we were talking about having a potluck at the fifth week of class, because that class was 5 weeks. And we were talking about the potluck, and everybody was talking about what they were going to bring. Now, I'm the type of person, I'm going to bring something from a restaurant or something from like the donut place, or I'm not going to cook for a potluck because I'm not going to eat nobody else's cooking. So I would think they would think the same about me. They don't know me, you know what I'm saying? Why would they eat my cooking? So um everybody you usually bring, something from a restaurant. So the teacher, the instructor, the professor says that she is going to bring some fried chicken. So everybody like, okay, well, chicken off the list, yada yada yada. Well, the next class we were talking about sanitizing and things like that. And I don't know how we got caught up into how we wash meat at our house. And I was telling them, how I wash my chicken with the lemons and the vinegar and all of that. And she burst out and said, I don't wash my meat. I take my meat straight from the pack and I cook it. She says that's what the FDA says. You're not supposed to wash your meat because you spread the bacteria. I knew all of that. I understand all of that, but I don't care about none of that. Okay? When I wash meat in my home, I cover my dish rack up with a towel. I use bleach in my kitchen. I am not eating meat that I don't wash off. I'm not doing it. And when she said she take it straight out the pack, when I tell you all of our faces turned up like, we don't want you to cook no chicken for us, honey. Child, no. So she said even her mom doesn't eat at her house because she don't wash her meat. But she was adamant in going by the FDA that says that the heat is going to kill all the germs. So therefore, you don't need to wash any of that doggone grimy, slimy stuff off your meat. Just season it and throw it in the flour and eat it too. Ugh, not me, honey. In his service says, I don't like turkey tail or butt. Nope. I've never had turkey tail or butt. Miss D Mac said, all in all, it's just some nasty people in this world, especially this day and time. Absolutely, Miss D Mac. And we gonna end this on that note. All in all, it's just some nasty people out here. And it's best to cook at home, y'all. Protect your mouth. Protect your babies, honey. Don't let people kiss your babies in the mouth, honey. But I thank y'all for coming over here and rocking out with me. I hope I kept y'all busy while y'all were at work. Um, Even if it was just for an hour. But it is 2:43 here in Detroit, honey. So I'ma let y'all go. And the service says, yep, rinse in the colander, meat, then pat it dry, put it in the collar in the dishwasher. Yes, you got to rinse that stuff, honey. You got to wash it with some bleach, honey. But like I said, I appreciate you all for coming and rocking out with me this late, late night. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. God willing, and I feel good tomorrow. I'll be back with the story that I promised y'all before I left, but I got too busy. And it service says, yep, D, but we were slaves, we clean for them. Yeah, God bless, not long enough. Oh, I'm sorry. But I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you all soon. Good night, Miss D Mac in his service, Miss Florida Red, Miss Connie, and I forgot who else was in here. Miss Maisha, Sting, whoever else flew through here. I'm sorry if I missed you, but I love you all. Good night.